we're all on record. So welcome everybody to the Introbiz Sweden networking event. And tonight we're going to have the power of networking, Tracy Smolensky, the networking queen, who's also the Introbiz founder, who's going to be talking to us about networking. First of all, I'll start off with just letting you know about the events that we've got. We've got an array of events that are coming up. We've booked now up until the end of February for speakers on the event. So that's amazing. So we have got health awareness and how to connect that with your business. We've got Swedish LinkedIn party. We have social media. We've got a Swedish lady named Therese. Oh, and Love is just coming in. Therese, and she's going to be talking to us about social media. Then we have another lady then, and her name's Debbie Potts. She's going to be talking to us about how to grow your business with Pinterest. Look at Love. Oh no. There's no control with these Swedish people in my meetings.
Oh yes.
That's fine, it's fine.
I love it. I love it.
I had an Indian.
Alian,
Yeah. I just need to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. And then at the end of February, then we have a guy, actually Steve from Wonky Sheep. He's going to be talking to us about communication. But also included into these events as well, we'll be doing some networking. And as we encourage everybody, and I know everybody's really good on here doing it, is the fortune is in the follow-up. So make sure that we follow up with everybody after the meeting, not just the meetings that we actually go in to connect with people. It's after, it's the fortune in the follow-up. Once Hellian's not on now, so she will hear me. I hope she can hear me. But we're going to have 30 seconds each of just saying your name, your business, and what your business does. And then I'll hand you over to Tracy, who's going to be talking about the power of networking. And Tracy, they are a rowdy crowd, okay?
Ah, good. Come on, let's rock this joint.
Yeah. It's what I love. It's uncontrolled. No, it's controlled chaos here.
That's fine.
But obviously, you know, if you've got any questions, pop it in the chat box, or then just put your hand up if you want to ask any questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. So on my left hand side of my screen, Cleo's just put more information on what's happening as well with Introbiz Sweden. We'll go with Stefan, as he was first on. He's on my top left-hand screen. So over to you, Stefan.
Good evening, everyone. Stefan Lundgren, owner and founder of Retail Senses Design. We do lighting, functional ceilings, sound system, signature scents, furniture, pretty much anything you need to start your company, your restaurant, or your office. And highlight of today, instead of a special one, I had an hour with Mark Wilcox today, which was amazing. He is an amazing man. I recommend it to everyone. And I have a big meeting tomorrow, so he gave me some pointers. And yeah. And what's special about me is I'm not an introvert, Tracy. I'm a little bit extrovert. And I love networking.
Yeah, good.
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
So much, Stefan. Just pop your details in the chat box as
Already
well.
done.
Oh, see, he's on it. Fantastic.
German precision for a Swedish person.
Yeah, prime precision. Over to Leah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah from Sweden. I have an online shop with Danish design jewelries. It's by the founder of Pandora Europe, Jesper Nielsen. I have I would like to have business partners and as well as team members. And what I'm going to do this evening is, as I have the opportunity, is to show you this.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Yes, they are genuine.
Oh, we can't hear you, Leah.
They are genuine jewelries, silver,
Yeah.
and 18 carats gold and rose gold.
Lovely.
Can you see the first
Yeah,
ones?
very
They are
pretty.
earrings, wings, angel wings. Can you hear? Angel wings, yes.
Oh,
Earrings, and then necklaces. And then there's also the family collection with 2 persons. You can have them until 5 persons, depending on how many members that you have in the family. And there on the, I think it's on my left, but on your right, it's a tennis bracelet. It is inspired by the Chris Evert. She is English, right? The Wimbledon
Oh,
winner.
yeah.
She had a bracelet like that. She lost it while she was playing. But you found it later after the match, after the game. Yeah.
Perfect. That's a good story to tell.
I will put my my link to my shop in the chat box. Thank
Perfect.
you.
awesome.
Thank you,
So,
Leah. Thank you
is
so
it an
much.
online shop, Leah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And over to our lovely Christian. Oh, me.
I was expecting to be last.
He's normally last, but you're not last on my screen today.
So yeah, I'm Christian from Sweden, and I love connecting people to business and business to businesses. And I have actually done something for Introbiz Sweden in my pocket, and I would like to be in everyone's pocket all over. It's an Introbiz hand sanitizer pocket spray
Awesome.
for your hand, for your phone, or your laptop.
Awesome.
And it's a
And
business card too.
it's a business card
Yeah.
where you can
Wow.
have wild spirit
Yeah.
and all your
Oh, that's
details.
brilliant, isn't it?
Awesome.
So let's connect and have a nice time together and help each other.
And be
That's me.
safe with the hand sanitizer business card.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good.
So
Brilliant.
that's all from me, and I'm really looking forward to looking and hearing more from you, Tracy, because
Oh,
you
lovely.
started this Introbiz. So yeah,
No problem. Thank you.
thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Christian. Put your new website in the chat
Yeah,
box.
yeah. I
Have a
will.
new website.
Thank you, and thank you for putting everything on the website on Introbiz. So
Welcome.
thank you, Claire. Love you. You are amazing.
I know she's lush, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Thank you. And over to Gweno.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Gwen O'David and I'm based in Cardiff usually, but I'm down in Fishguard at the moment, helping to care for my mother. I am a leadership and public speaking coach, and I have been a performer, broadcaster for the last 40 years professionally. I also bring to my work 12 years of expertise as an equality and diversity advisor. And for the last 12 years, I've been working with senior and board members as a leadership coach. I believe a fantastic leader is also a fantastic speaker. So I bring all of these skills together, and I've devised a method throughout the COVID crisis of delivering tip-top coaching for public speaking by Zoom. That's me.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. And Gweno, I'm part of the eyebrow group as well. And Gweno gave a wonderful talk 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I'm like this all the time now. And you have to come on one of Gweno's courses to find out what that means.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Shake it like a quarter.
Great stuff.
And Helian, are you okay to introduce yourself?
Yes, I can do that. I will do it as well as you have been doing in the future. I just say yes. I have not started my firm yet, but I have a name. So my name is C Nature Klar. Klar is from my second name, my last name, and I'm. For the moment, I am in the craniosacral therapist.
Right.
So I'm yes. So I'm on that. Yeah. Is it good? Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Christian will be connecting with you, Helian.
Yeah. And etheric oils and all that thing. So nature is my thing. So we'll see more what will nature will bring to me and to you all. Hopefully I hope I will learn something from you now, how to present myself better.
Perfect. Thank you, Hel. And how did you hear about the meeting tonight, Heliane?
From Gazala, Jabin.
Oh, Gazala.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
If you've got LinkedIn or Facebook or any contact details, put them in the chat box so that we can reach out to you, and anybody who can reach out to you in the meeting tonight.
Yeah, I will put something in there.
Yeah, just put something.
Yeah. Okay.
More than something, but something. Love's disappeared. Is he going to magic himself back?
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
You got 30 seconds, Love. 30 seconds. Go for
30 seconds. Hi, this is the magic chef on the internet. I do cooking shows. Tonight was Oscar Surströmming, Fermented Hearing. My first movie actually has 332,000 viewers. And I teach out how to eat fermented hearing the correct way. Not as the American that goes, bleh, nothing like that. So I have an Indian friend here. Otherwise, I'm in the magic business. That was my 30 seconds. And I will disappear now. Bye.
With a puff of smoke.
Put your details in the chat box, Love. Lovely to see you. Okay. Fantastic. So now over to Tracy Smolensky, who is the founder of Introbiz. And I think it's 12 years this year, isn't it, Tracy?
It is.
12 years. 12 years on the 29th of January, because it'll be year one for me on the 29th of January. Yay! Fantastic. So, and without further ado, over to Tracy.
Well, good evening, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I'm just going to take you back to 2007 when I first started networking. And I used to work for a local business magazine. And my boss at the time, I'd come from the newspaper industry, so I'd sold advertising space for many years. And in 2007, my boss said to me, I want you to go out networking. And I said, networking? What's all that about then? And he said, well, you go to all these business events, you swap your business cards and you do business. So I thought, oh, that's fine. I can do that. Not a problem at all. So off I went to my first event at the Copthorne Hotel at Culverhouse Cross. I'll never forget it. And I started to talk to people. And as I was going up to people, I was saying to them, I was Jenkins at the time. And I said, oh, hi, I'm Tracy Jenkins. I'm from Enterprise magazine. I sell advertising space. Do you think you'd be interested in that? Well, surprise, surprise. Everyone was sort of like backing away from me. You know, they were talking to me, but I didn't get any business for 3 months because I kept doing that over and over again. And the one day I thought to myself, this networking lark is a load of rubbish. And I was about to give up on it. And I thought, well, I won't give up on it just yet. I'll see if there's something I'm doing wrong, because when you're in business, as I'm sure you all appreciate, we all make mistakes. We all do things wrong. When you market your business, you've got to test it. You've got to measure it. And if it doesn't work, you go on to something else and you try something else. And because it wasn't working, I thought, right, I'm going to get some honest feedback, because that is so important. Because when you get honest feedback, whether you want to hear it or not, that's a way of you growing, because it's a way of you improving if you're doing something wrong. And boy, did I realize I was doing something wrong. So I asked a few people and said, you know, am I doing anything wrong? And they said, yes, can we be honest with you? And I said, oh, go on then. And anyway, to cut a long story short, they said to me that it was more about, you should be not coming into the room, giving it a hard sell. Don't push yourself on people. Come into the room and just get to know people. Ask them lots of questions, find out about them, find out if they like you and you like them. And if you do, the business will eventually follow. And it's all about building relationships and building up the rapport. So I was cringing, thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I got it so wrong. But it's brought me to where I am today. So I always like to share that story, because for me, my mission in my life and my legacy, that when I leave this earth, I want to be able to say to people and encourage people and empower and educate people that if you network in the right way, you can go far within your business. But if you do it my way, the way I did it when I first started, you're not going to get very far. So for me, my definition of networking is this. When you go into a networking event, whether it be online or offline, of course, you always want to meet new connections. And that is it. So N, I've got an acronym, networking. So N stands for new connections. You have to talk to new people. You have to get out of that comfort zone if you're feeling a bit shy. Because some people go into a networking environment where they're introverts, and some people don't like walking into a room full of people. Other people like myself and surprise, surprise, Gweno, and obviously Claire, we're extroverts, and Stefan's told me he's an extrovert. But there may be you other three. I don't know if you're introvert or extrovert at the moment. But if you're an introvert, go and buddy up with somebody and find somebody to talk to that you can go into a scenario where you're feeling more comfortable. But introverts need to get out of their comfort zone and know and accept that they have to be uncomfortable sometimes by walking into that networking scenario. But the easiest way to break down those barriers is smile at someone. There's nothing nicer than smiling. Imagine if I came on here this evening and I said, "Oh, hi, I'm Tracy Smolinski from Introbiz." You know, I mean, you're not going to want to listen to me, are you? But if I come into the room and I say to people, "My name's Tracy Smolinski. I run a company called Introbiz. I connect people together so that they can grow their business exponentially, so that they build their business. And I absolutely love people and I love what I do." You're more going to want to talk to me than if you go into a room. Yeah. So you talk to new people, and it's very easy when you go into a room and you see somebody that you know to go and talk to them. However, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's always good to bring new people into your conversation, because you never know where those opportunities are going to come or what's going to happen from that conversation. So I always say to people, implore them to speak to new people, even if you are feeling uncomfortable. Get out of that comfort zone and speak to new people, because there's opportunities everywhere. So N is for new connections. So make sure you speak to new people. E is for enthusiasm. Again, you've got to be enthusiastic about your own business. Look at Lawfruddy. Come on. He was so happy talking about what he does, talking about his business. He's enthusiastic. People are going to warm to him, especially in a face-to-face environment. When we're out of COVID and we're in a networking room, they're more likely to want to talk to him because he's enthusiastic. If he come on the screen or he came into a networking scenario, again, being miserable, nobody wants to talk to somebody who's a miserable old bugger, are they? So you've got to be enthusiastic about your own business. So that's E, enthusiasm. T is trust. That's probably one of the biggest things that you need to do when you start building your relationships, is to build up trust. Now, Claire and I have known each other a long time. Claire used to be a member of Introbiz when I first started. Claire has known me a long time. She's seen me. She's friends with me. She knows me, likes me, and trusts me. Now, do you think it would have been easy to sell a franchise of Introbiz Sweden to Claire if I didn't know her, if she didn't know me, like me, or trust me? No. She certainly wouldn't have necessarily bought it off me. But because she knew me, like me, and trust me, when we got into the conversation and we started talking and the conversation was flowing, wasn't it, Claire? And I was like, oh my God, I've just thought of something. And when I suggested it to her, there was a light bulb moment. And within 24 hours, we had a conversation of me coming back from Sweden to the UK, landing back on the tarmac in the UK. I was driving down the motorway with Paul in the car, and Claire messaged me on Facebook and said, we need to talk. I've spoken to Richard. Now, when you don't have that trust, you don't get as much opportunity. Things happen. It takes longer for things to happen when the trust isn't there. But if the trust is there, everything becomes less price sensitive and less time sensitive, because the trust is there. It's been segmented. So the trust is so important. And obviously with Claire and I now, we've built up that great relationship going forward. She's now the franchisee of Introbiz Sweden, and we're all here today. And yeah, she's all excited, which is great. And I'm really proud of you. So that's T for trust. And you have to build trust in people, because once that trust happens, lots of more opportunities happen. So that's T for trust. W is for warmth. And what I mean by that, I'm going to share a quick story of what happened when I was warm to somebody. We all want to belong to something or to someone. And when you can make someone feel special, and you can make somebody feel comfortable, and you can make someone feel belong to something or to someone, they will never forget you. And I'll share this story with you. I went to a charity event at the Vale Resort in South Wales. And in the room, there was this wonderful entrepreneur. Her name was Helen. I won't say her surname because some people might know her. And I don't want to obviously share the story and put her on the spotlight. But she was stood on her own at the event. You could see she was feeling uncomfortable because she was a bit tetchy. She was a bit agitated. You can tell from the body language, she was out of her comfort zone, stood there on her own. She'd bought a table of 10 that evening, but all her clients hadn't turned up. They hadn't arrived. So I went over to her and she was looking round and you could see she was uncomfortable. So I went over to her and I said, "It's Helen, isn't it?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, hi, I'm Trace from Introbiz." And she said, "Oh, hi." And I said, "Oh, I can see you're on your own. Would you like me to introduce you to a couple of people?" And her body language started to change. Her shoulders went down. She started to relax a little bit. She went, "Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you so much." You could see the relief from me asking her that question. So I brought her over to the group of people and I started to introduce her to a couple of people, and she engaged in conversation with them and she was chatting away to them. She was great at conversing with people, bearing in mind she was an introvert, but she was super successful. And this is what I say. I was on a Clubhouse event yesterday and I did networking for introverts. And I say, don't ever think if you are an introvert, always before you go to an event, think to yourself, I'm wonderful at what I do. I'm good. I'm amazing at what I do. I can add value in this room today, whether I'm an extrovert or an introvert. I am amazing. So stand tall and stand proud. And I did the same with Helen and I made her feel comfortable. After about 10 minutes, she came over to me and she said, "Oh, listen, Tracy, I've got to go. My guests have arrived now at the event. So I must go and obviously welcome them to the event." But she said, "I want to thank you." And I said, "Oh, what for?" She said, "Because that was really nice gesture that you did tonight." And she said, "I felt really good about that." I said, "Not a problem." She said, "Can I have your business card?" I said, "Of course." So I gave her my business card. Another tip, always take your business card wherever you go because you never know who you're going to bump into and you never know who's going to ask for that card. So I gave them my card. She said, and she gave me hers. And I never assume that somebody's going to give me a card. And and if I ask about a business card, I'll say, are you okay to give me your card? Because don't always assume somebody wants to give you their card. So she gave me her card. And guess what I then did? The following day, or that was on the Friday night, on the Monday morning, I followed up with her. Another little tip, always follow up with your client or a potential because you never know where that's going to lead you. And I will throw these little nuggets in all through the talk. So I followed up with her, didn't get hold of her straight away. It took me about 3 days to get hold of her, eventually got hold of her, made an appointment to go and see her the following week. I went in to see her, asked lots of open-ended questions about her business. I ended up coming out of that room with £5,000. Why? Because I made her feel comfortable. I made her feel special. I made her feel that she belonged to something or to someone. And when you can do that, look what happened. I didn't go in with a preconceived idea that I was going to go and sell to her. I knew who she was. I respected what she did in the business community. She had 400 people working for her. She's actually gone on to sell her company now, and she sold it for millions. But she was a woman that was an introvert that I made feel comfortable. I made her feel belong. And I was warm with her. And that's what I mean about being warm. And I had no preconceived ideas that I was ever going to sell £5,000 to her. But just by introducing her to a group of people, I went on to sell her £5,000. Okay. So that's W for warm. O is for opportunities. Opportunities are floating all around the universe. Some people see them, some people don't. Some people can identify new opportunities, some people can't. But it's only when you engage with people, there is nothing more powerful when you look someone in the eye, you give a smile, you engage with them, and you start asking questions about them. Because business is never about you, it's what you can do for somebody else in their business. So whenever I speak to people, I never go in with, "Oh, I'm wonderful, I'm Introbiz, I'm this, I'm that." A lot of people will come into a networking scenario. When I'm in a networking scenario after COVID or pre-COVID, people always used to say, you need to come and speak to Tracy. She's got a great big network, you know. And as soon as they say, tell me about Introbiz, I always flip it back to them and say, oh, I run a networking company. Just tell me about you. So if somebody says that to you in a networking scenario, oh, tell me all about yourself, I always like to flip it the other way, because I would rather do something for somebody first and listen to them and see what opportunities I can find to help them before I actually start talking about myself. So that's another little tip I used to get. I always like to give. Now, obviously, if everyone on the universe did that, no one would converse because they'd want the other person to speak. But that's always a really nice thing to do, is to ask about others first. Okay. And then when you start asking lots of open-ended questions about them, some people used to say, my daughter used to say, gosh, you're nosy, mum. And I said, you have to be nosy in business, because you have to find out and ask lots of questions, because the more questions that you find out about somebody, you get, it's like how I look at it, all these questions, think of a cloud, and then, or a mind map. You've got the cloud in the middle, and you've got all these smaller clouds coming off, which is all the questions. And the more clouds that you have around the bigger cloud, you get this great big picture that you can find out about somebody's business. Because if you can't find out about somebody's business and you don't ask enough questions about somebody's business, you're not going to get a good picture of what they're about, how you can help them solve their problems, how you can connect them to other people, and how you can potentially help them in their business to solve a problem or serve their need, because that's what business is about. So when you start asking open-ended questions, that's when the opportunities will flourish. And I'll tell you another little story. I like to tell stories throughout my talks. An opportunity came where I got to get a lady. Her name is Hilary DeVay. She was on Dragon's Den on the television. And we managed to get her to come and speak at our expo. Now, she normally charges between £10,000 and £15,000 to come and speak for people at their seminars and their workshops and expos. Guess how much I got her for? If somebody would like to take a guess, yes, you said it, Christian, 0. I got her for free. Again, why did I do that? And how did I do that? Because I'd already built a relationship with a friend of hers who I asked if we could get to come and speak at our expo. We got her for free because, again, that was down to trust in our friendship with somebody that we met, which was Kevin Green. And he then managed to get her for free because he trusted us. So do you see there's a bit of a pattern? You build relationships, you get them to know you, like you, trust you. Then they then start referring you to other people. But not only that, going one step further, they refer you to other people that will do things for you for free. But because I'm a type of person that likes to give, if somebody does something for me for free, I like to give back in some way. So never come into the room and never go into a relationship where it's all take, take, take. If someone want to help you, that's absolutely fine, but always give something back in return. So what I did, because Hilary was coming and she was a big name, I said, and I found out that she was the one of the patrons of the Stroke Association, which was a charity to help people who'd had a stroke, because Hilary had before had a stroke and she wanted to help them. So I said, well, when you come to our event, how about if we do a big VIP after party for you in the night after the expo? Like we'll put on a 3-course dinner. We'll do it as a charity fundraiser for the Stroke Association. You can be our guest of honor as a thank you for coming, and we'll raise thousands of pounds for the charity. Well, yes, she agreed to do it. Unfortunately, we'd never done a VIP after party before, and that was the first one after our expo. So we created another product in our business, and it was a profitable product in our business. But unfortunately, the first year that Hilary agreed to do it in that event, because she'd had a stroke recently, like 6 months prior, she was actually filming in England somewhere, up in Yorkshire, I think it was. And she couldn't actually stay for the party in the night. She had to go because she had prior engagements. She had to film at like 6 a.m. So and because she wasn't feeling too well after her stroke, she was still recovering. She couldn't actually come to the party. She came to the expo in the day and she delivered what she said she would deliver. But unfortunately, we sold tickets for the night on the premise that Hilary was coming. So what I said to Hilary, because obviously you can't attend now and all these people are expecting you, can you do a little video message for me? so that at least people will realize it wasn't that I was trying to sell them a ticket to get Hillary there, that she wasn't coming. It was because she'd been ill and she had a prior engagement. So she ended up doing a little video, and we had to show the video and say that she wasn't going to be coming in the evening, and it was still credible. Everyone still had a lovely time. They were disappointed. Obviously, people were disappointed that she couldn't come. But again, that was something that she did for them. She did for us. We created another product in our business, a profitable product. And that's still a product today, right now. Although in COVID, we can't have that at the moment. But we've had a VIP after party every year. And it's a great way to end the expo when you've had a full day of exhibiting and chatting and networking and connecting. And then we did a big party in the night. And every year we raise money for charity. So that's our give back. And we ended up raising, I think it was £10,000 for the Stroke Association that night. And then every year now we raise money, and it's usually between 10,000 and 15,000 that we raise every year. So we're super proud of that. But can you see the opportunities that happen when you build relationships with people? Which brings me on to R. So O is for opportunities, and that's one of the opportunities that I've had. R is obviously relationships. You have to build relationships to go forward in your business. And I've obviously talked stories about that. So that's obviously R for relationships. The next one is K, which is knowing. Is knowing your product, knowing what message you're going to put out there before you even go networking. And like yourself, Helly-Ann, with yourself, it would be great. Like you said, you hadn't prepared, which is absolutely fine because you're in a beautiful, beautiful event today. It's small, it's intimate, and you're in an environment where it's really supportive. But if you go into a bigger environment, what I would always suggest you to do is prepare your pitch. Prepare what you're going to say. And it's only, it could be a minute, a 2 minute, or a 5 minute. And just write down what it is you're going to say, who you are, what it is that you do, what problems do you solve, or what need can you find for somebody in their business, and how can they get in contact with you? So it's having that knowledge and who your target audience is. Who do you want to speak to when you go to the networking event? There's no point in going blindly into it thinking, who am I going to speak to? What am I going to be talking about? What is going to be my message? So always have that knowledge in your mind, and you'll get your pitch ready and understand who your target audience is and what you want out of the network. Claire is here to support you in your networking scenario. So Claire is the ideal person for you to go to before you even go to the event and get that help and advice and support. And Claire does that beautifully. So that's what you should do, is get the knowledge. So that brings me on to I, being interested in others. Remember what I said, the more you question, the more you ask about people, the more you find out about them, you are going to get a better picture in your mind how you are going to help them further. And the more questions that you ask, what you will usually find, you will always find a common ground. I could speak to every single one of you. You may not have the same interests as me. There's probably a lot of things that we're not compatible with, but there will be one thing, I guarantee you will all find a common ground in each other. And when you find that common ground because you've shown an interest in each other, that is when the bond will happen. You will build a relationship. And how many times do you see like people playing golf? They may not have loads of things not in common, but that one common ground is the golf on the golf course. And when you go and play golf, whether it's in a 4-ball or in a bigger team or at a networking event, you play golf all day, you have fun, you laugh, you talk, you engage. And guess what happens? You solidify and cement that relationship. And I guarantee you'll probably get business from that because you've been to that event and you've bonded. So by showing an interest in others, that's what happens. N is to nurture the relationship. So you start to build your relationship. So Stefan, Lova, Christian, you all know Claire. You all know Claire. You didn't know Claire before. Now you know her. You know her on a deeper level. You know her a lot more now. You've got to know her because you've got to know, like, and trust her. You show up to her events. You're there every week. You support each other. You speak to each other. So you nurture that relationship. So when you start engaging in relationships, is seeing how much further you can help them. Speak to them on a regular basis. Keep in contact with them. build that relationship. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. Now, imagine if I said to Claire, Claire's asked me to come and show up this evening. Imagine if I didn't show up tonight or tomorrow. How bad would that be? Even if she wasn't a franchisee and I said I was going to turn up and speak tonight and I didn't do that, I'm not nurturing that relationship very well, am I? So you have to show up, you have to be committed. If you say you're going to do something, you should do it. And obviously tell them and show them that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. But also help them. So for instance, if I said to Claire came to me and said, Trace, I want you to introduce me to somebody, or I need some advice on something. And I'll say, okay, I'll send you over some information. If I don't do that, again, the trust is going to go. I'm not going to be known as reliable. I'm not going to be known as trustworthy. I'm not going to be nurturing that relationship because people are not going to want to bother with me. And this happens so many times. And one of the biggest things when I talk about follow-up, this is what I mean by nurturing that relationship. The fortune is in the follow-up when you nurture your relationship, because again, you all connect here tonight. You're all going to hopefully speak to each other, because if you say you're going to speak to each other and you don't, what's going to happen? No one's going to trust you. They'll just think you're telling fibs. They're not going to build that relationship with you. And they'll say, oh, he was a waste of time. She was a waste of time. They promised to do something. They haven't done it. So you have to nurture that relationship by helping others and showing up and being committed. And if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And the last one is G, is to be giving. Again, all through the course of the conversation, I've talked about giving to people, supporting people, helping people, nurturing the relationship. And I would rather give than receive. I love nothing more on Christmas Day when I see my faces on my children when I give them their presents. And they do the same. They like to give to me as well. But I would rather give to somebody. Like I said, when you speak to someone and you start talking to them, talking about yourself first is not great. It's like, that's all about me, me, me. It's not about that. It's about see what you can do for others first. Because when you start asking questions about other people, your time will come, to talk about yourself. But if you go into the scenario where it's all about me, people will switch off from that and they'll go, oh my God, he or she is all about themselves. And people won't want to know that. People want authenticity. They want transparency. They want support and they want help. And if you are a giving person, rather than being a taker and be a giver, you will be surprised what you eventually get back one day. I always like to give and without expecting something back in return. I've given so much of my time, my advice, my support to people without ever expecting anything in return. I've probably, I know there's people that, on here that I've done that for, and I don't necessarily expect something back. I will always try and sell to people because obviously we're all in business to make money. But that is what I feel is the power of networking, is if you nurture the relationships, you're enthusiastic about your relationships, about your brand, you build up the trust, you be warm, you find those opportunities, you build on your relationships, you have the knowledge about yourself, but also get to know the knowledge of what everyone else is about. You show an interest in others, you nurture and you give. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my definition of what the power of networking absolutely is. Thank you very much. Any questions? I'm open to them.
That was fantastic. Anybody got any questions for Tracy?
Wow, I love the networking, connections, enthusiasm, and trust. Okay, I saved the chat, so I will do a post about it and I will lift you up, Tracy. And all of you on here, you are amazing. And yeah, thank you again, Claire.
Any questions? I'm open to them, please. If anybody's got any networking challenges or how you would overcome something or how you would
we are introverts here. We have no questions.
But you're
great listener. Many questions, Tracy. First of all, thank you very much. It was very powerful. Yeah, power of networking. So I'm always happy to get more ideas and tips and all kind of things that can help me every day. I'm new to this as well. I have had family members who have been in the network world, but for me it is very new. So I'm taking in everything. What I found myself is that I'm very talkative, and I am very eager as well. So once I start, and it was good to hear from you that it doesn't need to be about me all the time. I have to ask them first what they are, who they are, and what they do. So I have to put myself aside first. The question is, how much time do I give them before I start talking of me?
Well, I think, at least if you can ask at least 6 or 7 questions, I would say that is really, you start to get a feel for somebody's business and just see where the conversation flows. And if, for instance, they don't start asking about you and it's always about them, because this is what happens sometimes. People as we all like to talk about ourselves. That's a given. We all
don't.
You're a passionate woman. You're a passionate woman. So anybody that's passionate about their business loves to talk about themselves, right? But when you're building relationships, you just have to be mindful that it is about other people, because if you just talk about yourself, you're not going to find out about them anyway. So I think a nice round 6 or 7 questions, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do? Where do you get your business from? What problems have you got? Who's your typical client? And how are you finding things at the moment? And when you start asking how, where do you get your business, why, what, all those open-ended questions, you get this picture in your mind of what they're about, and then you can start saying, oh, so basically you're looking for somebody, like if for instance we're engaging in conversation, Leah, tell me a little bit about yourself. And then you start talking. I'll say, oh, where do you get your business from at the moment? Oh, everything's online. Is it okay? So are you getting business from all over the world? Answer that question to me now, Leah. Are you getting business from all over the world?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
16 countries, and we will be launching in the US next month and Australia in April.
Oh, fantastic. So what countries are you getting business from at the moment then? So where would be the countries that you're getting most of the business from?
It's besides Sweden, it's in Denmark and Germany and in Singapore, and as well in France.
Fantastic.
And of course in the UK.
Fabulous. And you'd obviously like some more connections in other parts of the world, would you?
Yes, okay. I would.
So tell us a little bit about what products do you sell at the moment? What's your biggest seller? What do you find is the most in demand at the moment?
Among my jewelries?
Yes.
It's absolutely the angel wing.
Oh.
The necklace, the angel wing, and as well as the earrings.
So tell us what the angel wings stand for then.
It's a symbol. It's a symbol for many people.
And a symbol of love, or is it a symbol of when somebody passes?
I think first of all, it's a symbol of someone who has passed away.
Oh, okay. And there's probably a lot of those people at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
And what would you say is the jewelry that's not selling as well at the moment?
What can it be? I sell many of.
Have you got some jewelry that's not so popular as the angel wings?
I have 1,300 different designs in my shop, so.
So there's a lot of choice for people to
there's a lot of choice, and there's jewelries for everybody. I have also 3 different level of prices, so absolutely there's
so
something
for men and women
everyone.
for men and women
for men and women, yes.
Fantastic. So you'd love to increase your business though, would you?
Yes, I would love to do that.
Okay, well, Introbiz can help you with that because we have many connections globally. Do you see what I mean?
Yes,
I've asked you lots of questions. I've asked you about what's selling well, what's not selling well, what does the symbol stand for, what other jewelry do you have, where do you get your business from? So I've got a bigger picture. So I've started asking you questions. This is like a sales call, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
To get that bigger picture in my mind of what you're all about. And if you noticed, I said that question to you, what isn't selling so well? So the other question that you could say is, what are the what challenges are you finding in your business at the moment?
Yeah.
Because that could be something that you can help them with.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And then the more you start saying, oh, I could possibly help you with that. And you did say that those angel wings are doing really well at the moment, but you'd still love to sell a lot more of those, wouldn't you, Leah?
Yes.
Because at the moment, that is prime time. Because obviously the situation with COVID, so many more people could buy that because of a lot of people passing. That's a huge opportunity for you to sell a lot more, isn't it, Leah?
Yes.
And because they're saying yes, you're saying yes to me. Okay, well, this is where we can help you, because if you join Introbiz with Claire, she could not only bring you onto the Swedish platform, she can bring you onto the UK platform and obviously get your brand in front of more eyeballs. And you'd like a bit of that, wouldn't you, Leah?
Absolutely.
So Leah's going to join Introbiz now.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean? The more
I do.
you ask questions like that, you get a better picture to make Claire want to be able to say to you, and we can help you with that.
Love here. Leah.
And then Gwenno. Okay, Louvre?
I have a question for Leah.
Yes.
Why don't you make? I mean, you have you're in the computer now. You should have your earrings, necklace. You can sit like this. I'm making jewelry. So you can you're missing the opportunity. The background. You say, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it next time.
And what you'll find, can I say something else, Leah, especially for yourself? When you build relationships with people, if I can just use the analogy of, when you go into a restaurant and you say you meet somebody at a networking event and it's the owner of the restaurant, how great do we feel when we go into that restaurant and we know the owner, and like Giovanni's a prime example, Gwenno, isn't it? Giovanni is like the local celebrity in Cardiff. He's a restaurateur. And when people go and see Giovanni, they love nothing more than knowing him. Gio, how are you doing? Great to see you tonight. And he'll make a fuss of his clients who are there, right? It's very much like that with networking, because what happens, you get to know each other on a deeper level. Now, if you were all out at a networking event, or say you were all out separately and you bumped into each other in a restaurant or in a bar, you're gonna, oh my God, hiya, how are you? Because you've deepened the relationship, you know each other, okay? And also, because Leah, you've got beautiful jewelry, do you think Stefan, Christian, Louvre, Helly Ann, Gwenno and Claire and myself, because we know you and we're starting to get to know you, they're going to want to buy jewelry off you rather than a jewelry shop down the road because they don't know them, because they've got the relationship with you. So they're more likely to buy off you. And how long does it take you to go and get new clients? So when you come into a networking scenario and you build up the relationship, this is what happens. People buy from you because they know you, like you, trust you, and they'd rather buy off you in the network because you're all going to help each other. Because Leah, you might need something that Christian is selling, or what Helly-Ann is selling, or Louvre is selling, or Stefan is selling, or Gwenno. And you're all going to want to help each other and buy off each other. And then guess what happens? They will then tell their friends about you because they know you, like you, trust you, and they've built up the relationship. They like you, you become a friend, and they want to help you. How many people who have got friends want to help each other? And this is where the relationships start. The networking starts as associates, you turn into friendships, and then it's that ripple effect. You throw the stone in the pond, and it ripples across the ocean or the pond. You get more people buying off you because you've built up the relationships, and that's what happens in networking. Does that make sense?
It does.
So can we just have one more question, because we've got 3 minutes left. So Gwenno, over to you.
It's not quite a question, but it's really something that followed on from what Tracy was saying, because people buy from people. And the other thing is that it's not necessarily people buying from you, but it could be that because you have all these relationships, and it's about who you know and who you can pass on to someone else. So even though you might think that there's, that you don't want to buy from me, but then I know hundreds of people who might want to buy from you, and vice versa. So again, it's that basing it on relationships and people buying from people rather than, they're not going to buy a product unless they know where it comes from. So it's all about that trust thing, really.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, when people say, who do you know, is who do you know in this world, but it's also who knows you. Because you've got to get out there and you've got to be that person out in the community, raising your profile, being visible, being seen. And it's what I call the tomato effect. I love acronyms. Tomato stands for, do you want to put it in the chat bar, Claire? Top of mind attracts top opportunities. Top of mind. So, for instance, when my members and people that know me are out talking to people and networking, and they're saying, where do you go for networking? I want them to think of Introbiz rather than my competitors. You want your people to be the top of your mind. So if somebody wants to buy jewelry, Leah, you want to be at the top of their mind to say, you need to go to Leah. Christian, you need to go to Christian, you need to go to Stefan, you need to go to Heliane, you need to go to Lovra, you need to go to Gweno, you need to go to Claire. So when all you guys think of networking, you need to think of Claire, apart from Gweno, because she's in Cardiff. But do you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, you've got to be top of mind at the opportunity when the opportunity is there for somebody to talk about what your products and services are. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Tracy. That was, as per usual, amazing.
No problem. Well, listen, have a great evening, guys.
And the first English woman that can pronounce my name correctly.
Lovra.
Lovra.
I think you
I
find
always like to try and get
I
people's
think you
names.
find she's Welsh.
Welsh, not English, Welsh, Lovra.
It's just because you've been to the English seminars in the morning, so you have said Louvre a lot of times, and done your magic tricks a lot of times, and I love the magic tricks every day. So yeah,
I know you light up the room, Louvra.
Thank you very much.
Listen, guys, have a great evening. I will see you all tomorrow if you're online tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Tracy.
Bye.
Oh, is
Great.
everybody going now?
Oh, no, I'm going to stop the recording though. Well, it's up to you.